Everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. It really does mean the world to me that you're willing to take a few minutes out of your day to consume my content. I'm joined by the one and only Enricoh Alfonzo. You guys might actually remember him because we actually did an interview about his book on my YouTube channel a few months ago at this point. Time flies. But guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We actually just finished watching Minions. Right now we're here in UIP, so the set does look a little bit different, but that's because we are in the cinema. But guys, today we're going to be talking about Minions 2, The Rise of Gru.
I love the setting though. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We get to actually do a movie review in a movie theater.
I feel so important.
I know. That's like a first, man. I love it. I love the atmosphere.
So yeah, guys, Minions 2, Rise of Gru. What did you think about it? First opinions and thoughts.
I actually loved it. More so than the first movie because this one also had Gru. You just can't have the Minions without Gru. And I enjoyed it, man. I had fun. It was funny. It was entertaining. It was everything you want in a Minions. It was adorable. Let's not forget that.
It was a very, very cute movie. Steve Carell returns as Gru, does a fantastic job. He's able to make himself sound younger. He sounds like a kid, which was really enjoyable. But ultimately, yes, this movie is about the rise of Gru. It's about him really establishing himself as a supervillain and also realizing just how important the Minions are to his success as a villain. Yes. And that was a lot of fun to consume and watch as well. I think across the board, this movie does a great job of just establishing itself as a real good spin-off to the original Despicable Me films. And I have to say, I love the callbacks, because this entire movie has so many callbacks to the first three films. Yes. We see little snippets of the other villains when they're younger.
Yes. A lot of foreshadowing.
A lot of foreshadowing, yes, which was all great. That sort of stuff, I think, is missed a lot in spin-offs and prequels like this, where I think Lightyear was a great example of that as well. Very little of Lightyear tied it back into the Toy Story movies, whereas this...
They never planned for it, so this time it was like they had foreshadowing material to go towards.
So this definitely felt like it existed in the exact same world as Despicable Me, which I always love. If you're going to make a spin-off, if you're going to make a prequel, you have to honor the source material, and this movie definitely
Although
did that.
I think it should be called Despicable Minions, you know? Because it's Despicable plus Minions together.
That's a good... Why don't they hire you for stuff like this?
I'll put it in the post, man. I'll put it in the...
But you know what? This is why you're the author.
Yes.
So yes, guys, I think this movie was really, really good. To be honest, now, you said you loved it. I was very cautious about this movie going in. I was very, very nervous until last night when I actually watched the trailer for the first time. And flip, I couldn't stop laughing. So I got really excited watching this movie, and for the most part, I had a really great time watching it. My biggest issue with this film, which has always been my biggest issue with the Minions as characters, is their inability to speak English. And the issue with that is we get some extended scenes where a bunch of characters are just going bluggy 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 blue, blah 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 blue, blah 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 blah.
It would be nice if there was some kind of subtitles,
exactly.
You know? Even if it was just words in between, so we could infer context.
So yes, of course you can like. And very often now, maybe I don't understand language as well, but you can tell that they're obviously taking French, Spanish, exactly, and they're mixing it all together. Them, And so we get, exactly. So they're saying a lot of words, and like, oh yes, okay, from context I can guess what they're saying, but for me you kind of miss out on that, like, the script writing of it all. I feel like it's a very easy way to tell a joke because you don't really have to set it up. You can kind of just...
I think that's the funny, adorable part though, is that you can't understand it and you're just inferring with context, and that's what sort of makes it funny in that moment. But yeah, what you're saying about you did go into it cautious. I was also cautious because I didn't enjoy... The first one it felt disconnected to me because we didn't have Gru, and it was sort of like a backstory that didn't need it to be explained, you know? But then this one had Gru, and I was so excited because I wanted to see that dynamic again. Because it actually proves that Gru was actually a father before he had the kids.
That's a good way of looking at it. He was a father figure to the Minions.
He took them in and he cares for them. I mean, like when Kevin has a nightmare and they come to sleep with him. I mean, that was just amazing. I won't lie though. I did tear up a bit at the end. I know you're going to judge me for that, but there was this sweet moment at the end that I kind of teared up for. Just a smidge.
You know, I will say, you know what, I'm not going to make fun of you. I've cried through some really stupid movies. I've cried in stupid movies before, so no judgment from me. But what I will say is, It does actually have a heartfelt undertone, which is something I wasn't expecting. Illumination Films, from the outset, has always been a film studio where their goal is actually to make as much money by using as little money as possible. That's pretty much their mindset. We want to make a ton of money, we want to spend a little bit of money. And very often that shapes how I view an Illumination Films film, because I'm like, well, are they really putting heart and soul into it? But after watching this movie, I can kind of go, okay, Caleb, shut up a little bit. There was definitely heart and soul in this movie.
And it's such a long franchise, you would expect at this
It's the fifth film so far.
Yeah, they'd lose some of its, lackluster. But this time it wasn't that wasn't the case. And this one has a lot more action in it, eh?
It actually does. And what
compared to the others.
Yeah, a lot of action.
More.
And I have to say, I love the animation for this. The very first time I watched the Despicable Me films, I really didn't like the character designs. But of course, 5 movies later, you're used to it, and I'm actually just able to sit back and enjoy the animation for what it is. I had a great time. The jokes were funny. The physical comedy was great. And also, we spoke, I'm going to bring it up again. We spoke about the foreshadowing and then also the callbacks to the previous films. Because one of my favorite jokes in this entire movie, you see it in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away, but it's little Gru going, cheese gun, or cheese ray. I don't remember what it is.
Freeze ray.
Yeah. So it's a callback to the original film, except instead of freezing people, he's coating them in cheese, which I thought was hilarious. So there's a lot of subtle callbacks to that. And I think that what this movie did so well is it didn't lean on nostalgia or callbacks to tell its story. It still has its own identity. It still makes sure that it is its own film without those callbacks. But if you are a fan who's watched all of the movies, then there's a lot for you to watch and enjoy.
I actually enjoyed the part where Gru was actually a person. It wasn't just like some kid, that was running. He was actually like a shadow of his like adult self, but it was still there. You could see the innovation. I love the creativity of the animation in this film. Like how the Vicious Six are so well designed, but they also have separate vehicles that play to their personalities. I love that part. That was amazing.
They definitely lean into the over-exaggerated elements of Despicable Me, because these aren't just villains, these are super wacky villains. And I think there's a lot of physical comedy that came with it. And there's this one villain who's called Nunchucks.
I know, I was just gonna...
She's just a nun, and I think that's so funny because,
I love the things that they did for her, like when she goes up. Did you see that? It was like...
She's hilarious. Her vehicle's made out of like an accordion, and she's always referencing the cross.
Oh, that was amazing.
I'm probably going to get too deep right now, but I feel like that's actually how a lot of people just view nuns. They don't... And you're going to get deep right now, and I don't know if you want to include this in your review. But for me personally, they just took a nun and made her a villain. And in many ways, I feel that's just how lots of society views nuns at this point.
Yeah, it's also because of proper media, TV series and movies, that they don't get to see the in-depth look at the life. It's more like a parody of it.
Yeah. So
recently we've had Dracula that had bad nuns in it. A lot of stuff.
Everything you watch has bad, like even
the
Hitman.
Conjuring thing, literally. The nun.
So you don't. If you're going to see a nun nowadays, chances are it's an evil depiction of the character, which I just thought was interesting. That was a massive detour from the rest of our review. But I think across the board it was a very, very enjoyable movie. Look, if you are...
I want to get that song from the end that the Minions sang.
Oh,
that was
just
really
the orchestral
harmonious.
Minions.
Yeah, and then the part that they sang, it was really cool, man. I want that song on Spotify.
But what I will say is, if you're an adult, that's in their 40s or 50s, and you're looking for a deep, meaningful film, probably not this one. But if you are looking for something that's just fun and cute and cuddly, then Minions 2 is an enjoyable film, and you can't go wrong with it.
Yes, bring your kids. They love Minions. They're going to go crazy for it. Don't forget, the Minions are out and about in South Africa. Enricoh is hosting them, and they're going to be at select malls up until the 17th of July. We will share those dates online with you.
Which is true, because I almost went to one of those little Minion thingies, and then I was like, Caleb, you are 24. You're 24, you are a married man.
Dude, you're still so young.
Do you really need to go do this with your life?
That's like nothing. I would say that even the 40-year-olds love Minions because it's just fun, entertaining, and you can just turn your brain off. Just have fun with the movie. And of course, Steve Carell's accent
It's hilarious.
Legendary.
He is great in everything he does,
Anything
though.
he says as Gru is just absolutely funny.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and then you want to shout out yourself because this guy's on everything. He's on everything. I've got my notifications turned on for him. So like
Wow.
every 30 seconds, I'm like, oh, this guy's done something else.
All right, so you can find me on HeitaFM. It's an online radio station. You can download the app as well. I do the entertainment news in the morning as well as the lunchtime express, which this review is going to be on. And then you can find me on all social media platforms as Alfonzo Words. All right, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate you watching this video and, of course, listening to this channel. It has been amazing. I love this movie, love the setting. We hope to do more like this in the future with this setting. I think it's going to be amazing. And yeah, watch our channels for more content that's coming your way.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Fire Kondi.